Welcome to another Screenfish One-on-One. I'm so glad to be speaking today with the co-writer and director of Culture Shock, Gigi Saul Guerrero. Uh, I hope I did that properly.
Yeah,
um,
you did it more than properly, my friend. You killed
ex-
it.
Excellent. Gigi, thank you so much for chatting with me. I really do appreciate it. I loved Culture Shock. I thought it was great. Really
Oh, that's
forward.
awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. And the film is smart and it's culturally relevant. I'm just wondering for you, what inspired the film?
Yeah, I mean, so when I first read the script, it was called Crossing at the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad that title changed. It was called Crossing, and there was something about that script that was the concept of it, the reveal um, of what happens in the second act for those who haven't seen it, the big reveal of how these immigrants are being crossed over. I was like, there's something really cool here.
Mm.
There's some sort of Latino Twilight Zone vibes happening. There's something here that's awesome. And I could tell why Blumhouse kept the script and had it around. So, what really inspired me, I think it wasn't just inspiration. I think I was just very passionate and eager to talk about what was happening very presently in 2019 and 2018 actually, with the border crisis.
Mm.
And watching all of that happen live and watching it from Canada. I wasn't in Mexico anymore. I don't live in the States. So I was really watching all these people of my race just being caged up and separated from their families, and kids being taken away from their parents. Like the whole Trump era was very eye-opening for the world. And so I think it wasn't just inspiration. I think I was mad. I think I was just like, I need to talk about something, I need to do something. And it all kind of, I'm a big believer, especially in this industry, that a lot of it is right time, right place. And I really believe when something happens for a reason, it's really meant to be. And I was approaching projects that year very hungry, very desperate for a movie, very just wanting to be somebody, like I wanted to just make movies because I was making so many short films and I was having a little bit of trouble going further. But then when I read the script, I really approached it like, whoa, I can really talk about something here.
Mm.
So it wasn't a job anymore, it was a responsibility. So I felt that I think this is what I'm meant to do, is to make this movie, and that's my part, to be able to talk about this and to be able to keep the conversation open of what is happening. And one thing I'm very inspired about with horror especially is that it's the best genre to be able to talk about social commentary, to be able to bring the right, like for years you look at Rosemary's Baby or even movies way before that, they've been talking about, it's not ghosts or the devil. They're really talking about something real and horrific. And I wanted to make a film that was fun, smart, had its scary moments, but I wanted more than anything people to have a good time, because I feel still today that what we watch on the news, it tortures us. So I didn't want people to sit 90 minutes of this movie Culture Shock and be sad
Mm.
and be hurt. um so I wanted to take this turn of to sprinkle humor and sprinkle a lot of my personality into it as well, but be very, very obvious and very on the nose of what we're gonna, this is what we're gonna talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to really challenge myself with something here, because all my short films, I was known as the gore girl, the horror girl, making always these like disgusting and like whoa, crazy, crazy short films, which I love.
Mm.
But I was like, man, this is okay. This is a turn, and yeah, I mean, I was inspired by all of that. Hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I like this is a conversation I love having with people who've been involved in making horror films. There seems to be something powerful about this particular genre, horror and
Yes.
sci-fi, which does open these conversations. Like there are some horror films which they go for the gore, but but
Yeah.
we certainly, especially lately, see this. I think the term they're using is elevated horror, where it's
Yeah.
trying to say
Very
something
much.
more. I was wondering, what is it? Why to you does this genre open the door for far greater conversations?
I that's a great question. I think it's because horror, not just movies in general, but I think especially the genre world, it allows audiences to have full escapism of the reality of what actually gives us anxiety, horror, and we're able to not just escape from it, we're actually able to enjoy it. We're actually able to be given thrill out of being scared, out of watching things that are like, oh my God.
Hmm.
So we are letting audiences sit for those 90 minutes, 2 hours. I don't think I can sit and watch the news for more than 20 minutes. Um, and I think the horror genre, because we're able to sprinkle it with horror comedy and put blood splatter, or we can go the route of very elevated, like Babadook, movies like Hereditary, where we can show characters that are so grounded, so raw, so real. In Hereditary, it, it's about a dysfunctional family,
Yeah.
and everyone can relate to that. I think. I don't think a single family in this world is perfect, but the fact that we can layer it with unknown supernatural, or we can layer it with anything you want in the horror world, it's allowing us to see just themes and topics in a different light and be able to actually create conversations. I think one of the best people, storytellers at it, is Guillermo del Toro, because he's one of the only ones that uses horror not just as escapism, but uses monsters as the good guys. He's the only one that actually uses monsters as the innocent, flawed, vulnerable characters of his films. And the ones we fear are the people.
Hmm.
In all his movies, it's like that. So, we're able to be reminded of a lot of the actual universal themes in this world that we continue to not be able to solve. So I think us filmmakers will continue to use films as a way to talk about them. I think if filmmaking can really inspire people and be so and become fans of things,
Hmm.
I think we can just continue to encourage change. So I think horror is able to do that for us, especially. I think.
I love that. I love that. Horror inspiring change is not something that not a way I've heard it put before, and I think that's absolutely the case. Um,
Yeah.
in this film as well, I mean, it's so well done and you've got these two worlds without the film, without giving anything away.
Yeah.
It's very clearly two worlds. Um, and one of them is bordering on the Stepford Wives, but these
Totally.
hell, right? Um,
Totally. You got it.
it's crazy, but it ties itself so closely with, you talk about July 4th, we talk about the American dream, and I was thinking about with this particular film, what is the American dream to you even a thing? Like, what is the American dream? And because we've got these well, the Latinx community, people coming over, crossing the border, looking for it, and then they're sold this pastel version of the dream and
Mhm.
told that this is what it is. I was just wondering what that means to you.
Yeah, it all started because when we moved to Canada,
Hmm.
I could relate right away
Hmm.
that my parents wanted a better life for my sister and myself. That, it's not a lie that we left scared.
Hmm.
I was young, so to me it was like, yay, adventure. But for my parents, it really was that desperation of like, we need to change our lives for something better. So I've always understood that wanting a dream, wanting something better, and you risk everything is a thing. And when I was in kindergarten, my parents tried the States and it didn't work. And we went right back. So I've always, felt in my house and my family, on my dad especially, has just worked and worked to give us the best lives we could ask for. And Canada to him is still his biggest achievement, his biggest thumbs up. And still to this day, I get asked all the time, do you prefer Mexico or do you prefer Canada? And my answer has always been, I can't compare them.
Yeah.
They are two different worlds. They are two different countries, two different cultures completely. So I wanted to show that. I was like, I understand what culture shock feels like.
Hmm.
I'm going to literally show that. So that started inspiring me of this dream of a better life. What is the American dream? I've been there with my family. And I just started to really think of way back with the propaganda posters of the American dream, the perfect American family, apple pie and barbecues, and perfect family of 4 or 5 with a beautiful golden retriever, you know. And a lot of those propaganda posters that I kept looking from the 50s looked fake,
Hmm.
look artificial. So it just inspired the whole Pleasantville gone wrong, the whole Stepford Wives artificial fakeness to it, that it's been a lie this whole time. So that's kind of where it all kind of went back and forth with, till that was my pitch to get this film before the big rewrites that I did. I said, this movie is going to be Sin Nombre meets Pleasantville gone wrong. And they immediately were like, oh, okay. So I was very inspired to bring as much as of me into this film. Yeah. That was
I
a long answer. I'm sorry, but that
no,
that, that was exactly how it happened.
no, that's amazing, and I really do appreciate that because you can see that the film is very personal. There's a fire to this film. Um,
Thank you.
it
Thank you so
really,
much.
yeah, it really is excellent and well done. And I know we have to go. I'm wrapping up. I appreciate the time. I just wanted to make
Sure.
one comment before I go. Creed Bratton shocked the heck out of me. It was just like
Right.
I just was gonna say,
Listen,
oh my gosh. Anyway,
when he auditioned, I know we got to wrap up. I gotta share this with you. When he auditioned, I actually didn't recognize him. And I was like, cool, I like that guy. So when I started reviewing tapes and I was watching even how I was directing them, because I could hear my voice, try this, try that, blah, blah. And he made a joke that made me go, it's Greed from The Office. Like I yelled that so loud. I had no idea he even auditioned. Like I didn't even know that was him. And it's him. Like nobody looks like him. So I was like, I was liking this actor from the beginning. We should
yeah.
just get him. And it was so fun working with him because he also was like, oh man, Gigi, I'd never play a bad guy. I don't know what I'm doing. That he would always crack a joke after he would say pretty dark things as he does in the movie, especially when he says, we're not giving them the American dream. Where he says something like,
I'm paying you to
we're
keep them out of it.
I'm
I'm
paying
paying you.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We're not giving them the American dream. I'm paying you to keep them out of it. And all these lines that he had that were like, whoa, that's very like true and dark. I'd call cut, and then he'd be like, whoo, oh boy. Like he'd always like make a big deal to be like, that was all acting, everyone. Like he would do the funniest things to just continue to prove he's just acting. So he was so funny. I'm just so glad you brought him up. Thank
Uh,
you.
honestly, when I was watching and the opening title comes up, I went, "Hold on!" His name comes up anyway. It's such a joy talking
That's
to you,
awesome.
Gigi. Honestly, I
Thank you
really
so
the
much.
film is great. I wish you the best. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Well, I hope you like the next projects. Lots to come, and I hope we'll talk again about more.
Absolutely. Can't wait for the next one. Thanks so much.
Yay! Thank you.
Bye bye.